Olroy dog food is giving your dog cancer, but why? Let's start from the beginning. Olroy was first launched in 1983 when it first hit the shelves at Walmart. The dog food was named after Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart and Sam's Club's dog, Olroy. The food was first made by Doane Pet Care Company, and Doane Pet Care is owned by the Mars Pet Food Division. Mars is one of the largest pet food manufacturers in the country. But before Mars purchased Doane Pet Food in 2006, Doane was an independent pet food manufacturer. Walmart has never had its own manufacturing plant for Olroy dog food, but the Mars Pet Food headquarters is in Brentwood, Tennessee. In November 1998, there was reports of sickness and death in around 25 dogs. The food was thought to be contaminated by a aflatoxin, a toxic byproduct of mold that attacks corn under certain temperature and moisture conditions. In 1999, several brands of pet food, including Olroy, made by Doane, were recalled due to contamination by a fungal toxin. In March 2007, hundreds of Olroy products were recalled as part of the melamine crisis. If you don't know what the melamine crisis is, on March 15, 2007, the FDA learned that certain pet foods were sickening and killing cats and dogs. The FDA found toxic contaminants in vegetable proteins found in animal food. The FDA and U.S. Department of Agriculture discovered that some animals that eat the tainted fiend had been processed and turned into human food. Therefore, humans eating these dead animals were consuming tainted food. But fortunately, it is a very low risk towards humans, but the risk is very high for animals. Back to the timeline. Olroy's troubles continued with yet another recall in 2008 due to possible salmonella contamination. In early 2018, Olroy turkey strips bacon was recalled due to possibly low levels of pentobarbital. If you don't know what that is, pentobarbital is used as a euthanizing agent and can even be possibly fatal at higher levels. The main ingredients used in Olroy dog food are corn, meat, and bone meal, or MBM, chicken byproduct, soybean meal, animal fat, corn gluten, Brewer's rice, BHA as a preservative, citric acid as a preservative, artificial coloring, and the food is fortified with vitamins and minerals. Now let's break down each ingredient. Dogs have been fed cornmeal for decades, but it's not healthy for them. Cornmeal is not part of the canine diet, and many dogs have had trouble digesting it. And cornmeal these days is especially nutritionally poor and mass-produced. Meat and bone meal, also known as MBM. It was once a staple animal product when cats and dogs were just considered livestock. Now MBM is not as popular. MBM is a product of the animal carcass execution process. It's composed primarily of the leftovers of bones and slaughtered livestock fat from unmarketable animal tissue and retail meat products. In the US, it is still legal to make use of euthanized cats and dogs for the purpose of making pet food. So that means that they take the bodies of euthanized dogs and cats and grind them up and make them into pet food, which means that during production, sodium pentobarbital, the drug used by veterinarians for euthanasia, might enter your dog's pet food. Next, chicken byproduct. Chicken byproduct is a way to keep low-cost nutritional value for their food. It includes, but is not limited to, lungs, spleen, kidneys, brain, blood, bone, fatty tissue, stomachs, and intestines freed from their contents, poop. So basically, if you see this on a package, you'll know that they're money hungry and not to trust their food. Soybean meal. There's really no case against soybean meal, but it is not nutritious because they are genetically modified. Soybean meal is a good, affordable ingredient for dog food, but it is good to keep in mind that these ingredients are not fresh. Animal fat used in dog food is scary. It's basically mystery meat. Too much or too little animal fat can cause health issues. And a big chunk of animal fat used in the pet food industry are saturated fats. Saturated fat is a dietary fat, and it is one of the unhealthy fats along with trans fat. Saturated fat in human food are foods like butter, coconut oil, cheese, etc. High quality animal fat is good for energy, insulation, and cushioning, but it also has many other important roles. But in foods like Old Roy, this is not the case. Corn gluten. Despite its name, corn gluten has actually no gluten in it. Corn gluten is used by the pet food industry as an expensive protein source. Corn gluten is a plant-based protein from concentrate, acting as a meat substitute that binds the kibble together, but the protein can come from just about anywhere. It can even come from non-nutritious sources such as leather, hair, feathers, chicken beaks, and other things. Due to the high concentration, giving your dog food with corn gluten can cause the animal severe allergies to corn over an extended period of time. Corn is one of the most common food allergens for dogs and cats. It can cause your animal severe digestive issues such as upset stomach, vomiting, diarrhea, nutritional deficiencies, weight loss, and even more serious issues such as inflammatory bowel disease. If your animal has allergy to corn, it can also create coat issues such as hair loss, severe itching, scratching, scabs and sores, and secondary infection, which is a infection that occurs after or during a treatment for another infection, or even staph or yeast pyoderma, which is a skin infection with the formation of pus. Brewer's rice. The name already sounds like there's something up with it, like it's known for something, but it's a common carbohydrate in low-quality dog food. Brewer's rice may sound like a whole grain, but it is most definitely not. It's not even whole white rice. Fragments of rice that are left over after white rice has been processed. It contains a few nutrients and only really serves as a quick source of energy for your pet. If you see this on dog food, it should be fairly obvious not to trust that brand of food. Bha preservative. This is the most problematic ingredient in dog food in my opinion. It helps preserve meats in your dog's food so it doesn't go rotten. An example of this in human food is those little packets of beads you find in your beef jerky. But the difference is that this is inserted directly into your animal's food. This is what I believe caused my dog's cancer. According to the National Institute of Health, having BHA in the diet can cause growth of tumors in laboratory animals. The FDA still permits it, and it's used as a fat preservative in food under the assumption that it is generally recognized as safe in low doses. But this is not in low doses, especially if your dog eats the same dog food every day. Citric acid as a preservative. In large quantities, citric acid can be problematic for dogs, and it's really toxic for dogs too. It can also develop bloating in your dog. Artificial coloring in dog food. Artificial coloring found in processed dog foods, like pet foods, have no place in a dog's diet. It's proven to cause behavioral problems and cancer in humans. Artificial coloring can cause neurochemical and behavioral effects including hyperactivity, aggression, and insomnia. And last but not least, fortified vitamins and minerals. The title may sound good and nutritious, but To your dog, considering that these are fake vitamins, that doesn't look so appetizing. The effects of vitamin A toxicity include increased tumor growth, joint disorders, dry skin, enlargement of the liver and spleen, immune depression, and birth defects. Half of adult dogs die of cancer, while joint disease is affecting today's dog internal proportions. If there's too much or too little of vitamin A that enters the chains of the metabolic process, the process will misfire, causing a downward spiral, and the health will take years or months to manifest as a disease. Taking all of this into consideration, it is no surprise that the nutrition offered by the bulk of Ol Roy recipes is below average when compared to other dog food brands. Now that we've covered the history and what ingredients of Ol Roy has to offer, let's take a look into Doane Pet Care. Doane, or Doane, I don't know how to say it, was founded in 1954 as Doane Products Co. They made dried molasses feed for livestock, and in 1959, Doane started making their first meal-based pet food product. In 1969, they expanded their service to include private label consumers in the grocery trade. In 1970, a year later, Walmart enlisted in Doane to make its private label dog food. In 2006, Doane was acquired by Mars Incorporation. Who is Mars? Mars is a multinational manufacturer in confectionery, pet food, and other food products. It's also a provider of animal care services. They originated in 1911, Frank Mars being the owner, but they started making pet care products in 1968. Mars owns over 50 plus pet food companies, and if you say, "My dog doesn't eat Ol Roy," he probably eats from the same company. Mars owns 50 plus food brands, so unless your dog eats some really indie, amazing, non-mainstream, underground Etsy shop type stuff, I bet your dog has eaten something similar to Ol Roy. Mars is so sketchy. I can make a whole video on them, let me know. They're just a really awful company. Let's talk about the reviews. Somehow there's more 5-star reviews than 1-star, but literally all I'm seeing is 1-star reviews. After reading these reviews on an Ol Roy dog food, I am very concerned. My Chiweenie started eating this food after a case. He has become very ill. We took him to the vet and now he has liver failure and heart failure. He was vomiting and brought him into the vet. We are convinced that this dog food is what got him very ill. There is no hope for him and we have to make the difficult decision to put him down so he will stop suffering. Before eating this food, he was healthy and happy. Our Chiweenie has been in our family for 13 years. Our whole family is devastated. Another customer writes, "Just bought 2 dog bones. When I went to open them up, they had mold on them. White, blue, green mold. This is disgusting. Never buying from them again. I wish I could give negative stars." I purchased Ol Roy high-protein beef and lamb flavor from Walmart on S Post Oak in Houston due to them switching the bag to a nicer look. I thought I would give them a try, that maybe they use better products now, but after my dog ate 1/2 bowl around 3 a.m., 5 hours after she ate half a bowl, I woke up to 3 piles of poop on my carpet. And when I got up to grab her and take her out to poop, I slipped and now I'm covered in it. To top it off, after taking her to get cleaned and spending 4 hours scrubbing my floors from poop, she shoots out pure dark red blood-infused diarrhea covering my backseat. FML for real, bro. Now it's 10:30 p.m., almost time to go to sleep for work in the morning. I gotta get up every hour and take her out so my home won't get disgusting poop everywhere. I don't know what they put in this stuff, but it's not for consumption. I know that review is completely truthful because the same exact thing happened to my dog Penny. I'm gonna just do like a quick recap. In December last year, she was doing the same thing. She's pooping everywhere. And we took her to the vet to see what was wrong. And it turns out that she did in fact have cancer. And we were gonna have to put her down, but thankfully the vet helped us and we didn't have to put her down.
We got her surgery.
Her cancer was gone. But her stitches popped open. There's a lot of stuff that happened. It was just very awful. But yeah. That happened in January. And in February, here's the screenshot of the text. Nobody listened to me when I said he had a mass growing on him. I said, Buddy has a tumor. He didn't poop out blood, but we took him to the vet and he has cancer. It's a thyroid tumor. And this all happened around the time that I fed them this food. This same exact thing happened to my sister's boyfriend's dog, Max. The vet told him to switch his dog's food to Old Roy, and his dog got cancer and he passed away. So what's being done to resolve this problem? Absolutely nothing, but I guess Walmart is slowly pulling Old Roy off the shelves. But what can you as a pet owner do? Well, I've done some research and picked out some healthy food that is kind of affordable. Some of them are a little expensive for your pet that isn't like Old Roy. And there's some dry food. So this is the list of kibble. Acana, First Mate, Horizon, and Boreal. And here's the proportions of how much food your dog should be eating. Here's what is safe for your dog to eat. And here's a DIY at-home recipe. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please be cautious and don't shame anybody in the comments because it's nobody's fault. It's not like everybody's there to just like read the dog food packages. Like, don't blame anybody. Thank you for watching.